Hi, everyone. Drew Roberts here with Milwaukee Real Producers. We are very excited today. We have with us one of our newest partners to Milwaukee Real Producers, Brandon Bruckman with Insight Investment Advisors. So we're going to take a little bit more of a deep dive today into learning a little bit more about Brandon and also about his business and how excited he is to work with all the top agents here in the Milwaukee metro area. So Brandon, appreciate you taking some time today and jumping on this call with us. And we're really excited to learn more about you and your business.
No, excited to talk to you, Drew. Thanks for having me, and really excited to be part of what it is that you and others are trying to do with this community. It seems like something that has amazing ability to drive value for, not only the top agents, but also for all the vendors involved. And frankly, the parties look like a blast. So whenever we actually get to do that again, that's something I'll be looking forward to too.
Definitely, yeah. Well, like you and I talked about last time, is we're in the process. We're putting all the pieces together, and when they say we can go, we're gonna go. So no, we're really excited to have you. We don't have anybody that is a preferred partner that's in your space yet. And so it's really excited to be able to offer your services and your business to some of the top agents out there. So before we kind of get into that, I'd love for you to give us a little insight into just who you are. I know I've had the opportunity to learn that, but if you could tell us a little bit more just about, you and, kind of how you got into this business and what you did before, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. And some of the clues are behind me a little bit. I've kept all the smart books are on the other shelf over there. So there's some pictures of family behind me. So I have 3 kids. I live here in Brookfield. Our oldest is on the way to college that will be open next year. We have one headed into high school, and then my smallest, my son, is 7. So we're action packed with the family. During this time, my wife is actually deemed an essential worker. So she's off at work, and I'm here in the house. So I'm playing. It's been a time, man. It's been interesting making this adjustment and then reworking schedules to work and do things like this with you, Drew. And I know you're doing the same thing at home, right?
Yeah, I think it's pretty funny because we do a lot of these calls and we'll have group calls. I think on one group call, we had 3 different people whose kids just wanting to sit on their lap just to listen to what was going on because they were being nosy. But it's kind of the new normal for everybody. And I think we're all figuring it out. But yeah, I mean, it's a juggle, you're used to working from home alone, and now you got kids and wives and husbands and, whoever else is at the house with you, so.
Yeah. And I think like there's been more pluses than minuses for this, for sure. I think it's kind of cool that I can introduce my children to how I work and how I think about things and some of those interactions that I have. I hope there's, some value that they take out of it, and they don't watch dad get mad too much or too often at work is good too. So I got to kind of keep it in check a little bit, but no, it's been great. So we're doing that, here in Brookfield. I'm helping them out with their learning. I've lived in Wisconsin my whole life. I've lived in Southeast Wisconsin most of the time. And you asked, like, how did I come to this space? So it's really roundabout way that I came here. I studied finance and accounting in college, and I headed in that direction. I spent about half a decade at a pretty large hedge fund. And I thought, hey, we're set, man. This is where I want to be. This is so cool. I love the trading floor and everything about that. And, that experience came, crashing down relatively quick, right? I walked through the financial crisis on the front lines. So I had amazing exposure to that, which was scary and interesting and educational all at the same time. But what I really took out of that experience was, I need to be independent. I need to find a way to, apply the way that I think about investing with others who think that way and can kind of control our own destiny. So that's sort of what we've done at Insight. And there's really 2 parts of the business. One part is on the investment advisory side, but what I think might be more important and more prevalent for the Real Producer Group is what we're doing with real estate and how we're out there helping real estate investors in particular. And we kind of got into that space through my partner in the firm, Josh. His dad had a horrible experience with some of his investment properties. And owed a giant tax bill when he was looking to sell those. He was having some health issues. And there really wasn't a good and clean, easy way out for him to have passive investment and defer a lot of the tax that he owed. So that's what sort of led us in that direction. We spent a heck of a lot of time researching this space and figuring out that it's a pretty good fit, and that there's definitely a need, not only here in Wisconsin, but really up and down the Midwest.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think when you and I had first originally talked, I think the space that you guys are in is definitely pretty niche. But I think that there's just huge, tremendous value to the agents that understand exactly how to present this and utilize this for their clients or even for themselves, right? So there are a lot of agents out there that have multiple investment properties, or they have investor partners that own a lot of these properties that they're buying and selling for them as well. So dig a little bit deeper to as agents are listening to this video, what are some of the key points that they should know and how to utilize your business to the fullest extent?
Yep. Yeah, totally. So I really want some of the top producers, maybe I have to take a step back from the day-to-day. So this isn't something that we see come up on a regular basis, but every time we give a presentation at, say, a broker's office to the group, the calls start coming in, and we start to see calls 3, 6, 9 a year, even after that initial presentation. So, oh yeah, I remember that Brandon described this to us, right? So really what we're talking about is if you're working with clients that are investors and are looking to do a 1031 exchange, there's a couple things that they can do. They can obviously trade up into a new property that they want to manage. And that's what we typically see in 1031 exchange. That's an area where if folks watching this have questions in the group and want to reach out to us, that's an area we can provide you some advice and walk you through some of those rules. So that's one way that we can really help people. But two that really works for us is when that investor isn't seeing things in the market that they like or wants to take a passive role going forward. I'm sick of managing all these properties, or I'm tired of being a landlord, especially after these times that we're going through with COVID. All the issues of being a landlord are just amplified by what we're dealing with. And they say from a lifestyle perspective, I'm sick of it. I don't want to do it anymore. But I have this huge tax bill to pay. And by big, we're talking 30, 40, 50% of the value of that investment can go in taxes. So it's rather significant in that way. So that's really what I want agents to be watching out for, is hearing those telltale signs of, yeah, I want to move on this and sell it, but I just can't pay the tax. And I don't want another property to manage that's bigger, just to avoid that tax. We can come in and offer some solutions there.
Very cool. Yeah. And I think really from a standpoint, like you and I had talked, is a lot of times there's so many things that are going on in the day-to-day from a real estate standpoint that sometimes it's just a matter of knowing. And I think this is just another opportunity for agents to add value to their clients. Ultimately, is what it comes down to. Is there at some point in time, if you are dealing with somebody that is in this situation, a lot of times there's nowhere to turn to, right? There's no solution other than just kind of what is known. And so I think that that's the biggest thing too, that's important with this, is just understanding that there are options out there, and I think you guys are able to provide creative solutions to people that are in different areas, while, in the investment process, more or less.
And it's a key thing for, this is what you said, where brokers can add a huge amount of value. And again, it does not come up every day, but when it does, man, again, you're putting someone in a position where, for you, from your perspective as a broker, there may not be a sale there for you, right? So there's really no commission that you can take out of the deal. Like, man, I'm working with this guy and I'm stuck. I can't find a way for him to, really sell this property that he desperately wants to, because I can't find that solution. I can't find that property to buy that's next. That's where we can really step in and help. And then you'd be surprised at how few investors know about the second solution. Everywhere I've spoken around town, it's like, all right, who's heard of 1031? Everybody hand goes up. Everyone knows that's a great vehicle for you to grow wealth in real estate. It's one of the best vehicles south of leverage that you have to really make money and continue to capitalize in real estate investing. But not many people know that you can go into passive assets on top of that. Like, you don't have to buy the next property to manage. No hands go up when I mention what the solutions are. So your clients, real estate brokers that are listening to this, your clients don't know about this. right? So you're bringing this tremendous amount of value to them about solutions that frankly they're just not aware of.
Sure. Can you tell us, Brandon? Like you said, I think there's a lot of education that can be done in these two areas. Can you tell us a little bit more about those two kind of specific areas, for maybe people that just don't know,
Yeah, so let's go through maybe 1031 exchange first. We'll go through the basics. I mean, there's a lot of material to cover, and there's a lot of rules to go through as well. But the basics are this: if you are looking to sell a property that you've invested in, you can acquire another property that the IRS deems as like kind, and that's basically any kind of real estate that we're talking about. You can acquire that property as a replacement, and all the capital gains taxes, state taxes, Medicare taxes, recapture depreciation, all that fun stuff that you would owe in a tax bill is deferred into that next investment. There are some rules around that. You have to buy something that's of more value than what you currently have, or of equal value. You have to recreate the debt and equity situation that you have. So if you have leverage on your property, you need to recreate that situation in the exchange. Here's where it gets a little bit more tricky. You only have 45 days to identify what properties or properties that you want to acquire, and 180 days to close. It sounds like a long time. It's not, right? So one of the areas that we get a lot of calls from brokers in are, hey, my client's on day 40 and this thing is blowing up on us. We need help. That's a situation where we can step in and help and provide solutions relatively quickly to get that 45-day mark identified and taken care of. So those are really the basics around the exchange. And you can imagine how beneficial this is as an investor, right? I mean, you can deferring that tax on your investment and continue to roll that into your next investment is tremendously valuable. So we don't hear, who we typically hear from are not folks that are looking to continue to multiply their wealth. We're hearing from folks that have wealth and have captured that in real estate. And frankly instead of sitting down with us and with a list of properties they want to acquire, they're sitting down with us a list of places they want to visit on vacation, right? Their priorities have changed, right? And those are the folks that we spend the most time in helping. So when you get to that replacement property portion, we step in with some passive asset alternatives. So one example of that is what's referred to as a Delaware statutory trust. It doesn't roll off the tongue, but it's referred to as a DST in our space, and basically acts as a vehicle for you to own real estate directly. So you own real estate property. These are larger deals, 80 to 100 million, very, very large deals. You only need a very minimum to get involved in those deals though. And they're managed by a third-party company. So there's nothing for you to do as an investor except to walk down to your mailbox and grab your check, right? So that option is in one part very appealing to someone who's more focused on taking a vacation than they are managing properties. On the other part though, for some of our investors are like, I want the control. I like managing properties. I want to go and collect my rent. I want to go and add value to that property. This isn't probably a good solution for them, but it's a lifestyle decision, right? And those are the keys that I really want folks picking up on is, hey, there is a way for you to sell this property, capitalize on this market that's still steaming hot, right? And get into passive assets. So that's sort of the basics around really the 1031 exchange and some of the passive assets that are available to invest in.
Very cool. Well, Brandon, I think, I really appreciate you explaining that. I know for me, it was kind of, I had to, not too savvy in both of those areas. So understanding both of those areas, was really awesome for me. But I think it's just, like I said, I think you're able to provide a ton of value. And like you said, it's not going to be every day, but, for all of our top agents that, when you do come across this type of client, now we have a solution that we're partnered with here at Milwaukee Real Producers. And, Brandon's just, we're super excited to have you. I think it'd just be an absolute phenomenal fit. So, well, Brandon, like I said, appreciate your time today and, giving us really some insight into you and insight and, we're just excited to keep partnering with you, but want to give you an opportunity to kind of end on any final words, and we'll kind of wrap the call up from here.
Yeah, I'd offer, Drew, I appreciate it. And I'd offer a couple things to, the brokers listening. One, please reach out and contact me, and we'll make that easy to do, through Milwaukee Real Producers. And let's discuss for 15, 30 minutes of how this works inside your business. It's tough for you to be in this situation, in the heat of the situation, not understand some of the details. So I encourage us to have that initial conversation, so make sure that you're ready with this type of solution. The second thing I'd offer is I'm always available to do workshops and seminars, with your brokerage firm. So as we get back in line to being in person and looking and talking to each other, there's no reason I can't come in and do lunch and learns in your office and start to answer some of the questions that you have. Even the 1031 exchange will take us a while to go through, frankly, all the questions that I know our audience here, as curious as they are, would have, about some of these particular rules, and the case studies around them are particularly interesting as well to apply them. So that is totally open. Come in and do that completely free of charge, no obligation to come and talk to your group and get you guys educated up.
Very cool. Well, Brandon, like I said, I appreciate the time today. We are very excited to have you on board, and I think you're going to be able to just provide a tremendous amount of value to the top agents in our community, and we're excited to have you on board. So, awesome. Well, have a great rest of your week, Brandon, and we'll definitely connect here soon as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Drew.
Have a good one.